Lamandang gombo jamba yang lan changsa kongge londe jenyen jenda nyindara nanda rasa jenyen jen vijen sejen nyenjen tukara lekam zen kanda sibe chenra mare mendum domai jise Rozo kunla kujin danze yanlan tuje yonde zon trudanje nyumoy nyino lejin jandro truzenje mare nenze domay nyungu jingen jen raje nandene doje soje daze yenden dezon jase duve Chudan chudan chunyin jinte dalem ese jambe yonlande marabadana Marabadana de 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 Zende Jeje Chenra Vesrenje Dalen de Barasan Adan de Jumbo Tumpai Lodem Bode no Palo jinji jinja beja jinda jimame bala goera dande dengo zongo baji me mane jado jado jiyo shiwane zero nam jedo du jinja sunzu mrenze dunzo kongi jazmanda yeme kongi zazime nondash sembe suye sendo marvendo gun me gindu zenjuro du jinda mangune jiren jiden sunji panjabe wonga wonga bejebe Grindale inzur shon jenzo rende tongo zere jave nando ranje men jedo zenzo beje inde shon barwe Pemanjune dale indojo Kumbharajo yandewa dan domeni cholon jije da jije jano nivozo Zalin jinjo nanje dai jo Kondi degaran jini bebo Dengun jumba vishazar do Yimbi denzi bebi nanjurba Jime vezir jam jin dai jo Jigan jimba jine jilale Hombi lonle kubin tenjendo Jinzi janze ngawanjur Nipam jambi anjin dai jo Namanguru jinjin gominda jeji za bunjaran jumpu jeji bedin Deji kalama mentalawa Palden lami jaji dai jo Yende zanje gunda yanaya Kandin zanje kune labi gun Zari lami jala zwade Nasundu ye lamna che lanjur then the Shalom Juba Council, the Sember de Bala, the Jiji, no more, and the Bal, I get on to the Nijing, the Negan on the Andu, and Jedan and Jizamba. Amje get those Ozaran de Yurji. Majuna Pita, Lanyam Bezinjan Tamje, Namdu Deni Deva, Lameba, Yanga Zubi Sanjin, one and Bachela. Chini Yanga Shah, Chindo. Kasi chanju sembi jeba lanju pati nitsu jindu sene nyamsu lawan yu nyamdu samba chanju chundu tu jeba lanche de sense awa. Mashi semba shari chuje remba ne. So to have a right intention before we begin the teaching, it's important in order to transform all these virtuous actions into the cause of enlightenment. Therefore, generate the intention towards listening teaching in this way for the sake of motherless sentient beings, in order to lead them to complete enlightenment, that I will going to listen this Bodhicharyavatara, and whatsoever I understand, I'm going to try my best to apply in my life, which with that kind of intention, and listen this teaching. And then the teaching itself, now we are reached to this third chapter. Generally, this Bodhicharyavatara has a 10 chapter, and those 10 chapters can summarize within 4 main themes or the category. Among the 4 main themes, so today we are here in the first theme, which is to how to generate bodhisattva within oneself. And within that theme, there are 3 chapters that in order to understand how to generate bodhisattva within oneself. So first chapter talks about its potential and its benefit. So with that, we could understand that what is the beneficial to having this bodhisattva within oneself. And then second chapter, the title of the chapter is actually confession, but yet it is also that guiding us. So in order to that kind of beneficial bodhisattva, in order to have within oneself, we need to prepare in this way, because we need to make sure that we have enough merit and purified one's own negativities, which are obscure for us to be able to generate this bodhisattva. So therefore, in order to do this, then Shantideva guiding or the instructing us that how one can accumulate merit and how one can purify one's own state. And then that he is introducing with the accumulate merit. There are many different methods or the way that we can engage into that actions. And so far, such as the offering and prostrations, refuge are completed, how to do it. And then also that he completed instructions about how to purify one's own state as well. So now today, this third chapter, we are beginning here in this third chapter.
third chapter's mainly title of the third chapter is the how to say how one can receive the Bodhisattva's vow. In order to receive the Bodhisattva's vow, what kind of requirement or the kind of like what kind of things that we have to done in order to receive the Bodhisattva's vow. That's the main theme of this third chapter. But still, Shandadeva continuously instructing that in order to receive this Bodhisattva's vow, that how to say, what are the requirement or the preparations, such as in short accumulation merit and purified state. So some instruction how to accumulate merit are gone, and then how to purify one's own mistake is gone. Now, but still left some methods to instruct. For example, like from this third chapter, starting he's instructing us through this kind of like a rejoice, and then the request to turn the will of Dharma, and request to not enter into parinirvana and dedications. Those are the 4 different actions he is also instructing us through these actions, that if one engage into these kind of actions, and these actions also help us to accumulate enough merit to be able to generate bodhisattvas. And these are the many options that he is giving us in order to accumulate merit. Why we need to accumulate merit? Because in order to generate bodhisattvas within oneself. Because it is generating bodhisattva is something that kind of like it can, how to say, it is something like a very, it is something like a soul. For example, like it is like a one very big material things, just like a, how can I say now, just let's say this, just example like this shine, it's the big one, that in order to fit that shine into this house, we need to have space enough within this house. This house is like our mind. And then bodhicitta is like this big shine. So in order to fit that big shine into this house, first we have to make sure that there is a space enough for fitting this shine, these big things. And then also that since it is very big things, it is kind of like a, it might, how to say, within the house, there might have many other things that disturbs to fit that things in. So therefore, if you really needed that big things to put in your house, then you need to check your house, and whatever things disturbing, blocking or disturbing to fit that things in, then you need to remove these things first. Without removing these things, then you won't be able to fit that things, one thing. And then also not just removing things, and also you need to make sure that there's enough space for these things to fit in. Similar like that way, this bodhicitta, the bodhisattva vow or the bodhicitta is just like a very one big huge thing that we are trying to putting into the house like within our mind. We are trying to fit that things within one's mind. So in order to fit that bodhicitta within our mind, then we need to make sure that whatever we don't need it, whatever it disturbs these things to put in house like your mind, then you need to remove these things. That it's already done, that how to purify it, the one's own mistake. And then just removing all these things is not enough, but also we need to make sure that it has enough space for fit this thing, big things in. So therefore, in order to make sure they have enough space, and these are the method that accumulating merit. Accumulating merit means you are making the space, big enough space to put that mighty things in, the great big things in. So far that how to make it that enough space through engaging into offering actions and prostration actions and refuge actions. And he instructed so far. And further, again, continuously, another option that we also has this kind of option 2, that we can engage ourselves into the actions which help us to accumulate merit, which help us to which help us to make it space to put that things in. And then how he is instructing that in order to make the space enough, then he is instructing with this stanza number 1, that 3rd chapter. This is now, in short, this stanza number, this 1, 2, 3, 4, kind of like a 3/3 stanza is only 2 lines. Those 4 stanzas kind of like instructing that one can engage into in this way, kind of like short rejoicing. These 4 stanzas instructing that through engaging oneself into rejoice action, also we can accumulate merit. Also we can make space to put that thing in. And then how one can engage into this rejoice action. And then he is instructing, with joy I celebrate the virtue that relieves all beings from the sorrow of the state of loss. So what does it? Okay, so this loss and exulting, is it that? Exulting?
Yeah, exactly.
Exulting in the happy state enjoyed by those who yet are suffering. So there he is instructing in 2 ways here. Within rejoice action, that you can rejoice to this kind of things, that I celebrate the virtues that relieves all beings. Here, now, this 4 line, first two line is it's instructing, Shantideva is instructing, kind of like a actually it is not really experiencing the problem yet. The person is not kind of like really facing the suffering yet. This is little kind of like unobvious, that he is saying that persons, whoever kind of like doing such as those virtuous actions, persons whoever engaging into such as virtuous actions, so positive actions, and not necessarily that they are facing suffering by it, right? Do you understand what I'm trying to say here? Such, okay. Negative actions, okay? Negative actions are naturally cause of suffering and naturally cause of lower realms, right? And then now, persons who are avoiding those negative actions, and then not just avoiding, and also trying to engage into positive actions. He is engaging into positive actions because of kind of like a sorrow, because of problem. It is not like that. He is not facing yet. At that moment, everything is good. But still, for the future or whatsoever, for his kind of like a natural, what can I say, that naturally he is out of he have this naturally quality, the attitude, the behavior, good behavior. Out of that, or he's aiming for the future, whatsoever reason, as long as they are engaging into some positive actions, regardless what, saving others' life or protecting, helping, and giving, and kind of like willing to generating the willing to help others, like that kind of whatsoever positive actions they may trying themselves to engage, or somebody who is trying to introduce those to them. So somebody who is trying to lead them towards that kind of path. As long as you see any kind of this kind of things out there going in front of you or wherever, and all those that we may can rejoice after them. We may can rejoice after them by rejoicing, just rejoicing after them, and such we can accumulate merit. This is one, it is saying this 2 lines first. With the joy, I celebrate the virtue that relieve all beings, that relieves in the future, right? And also for the kind of like from the sorrow of the state of loss. It does not mean that he is right now experiencing sorrow of the state of loss. That which is the cause, that the action or the cause which relieves from the sorrow of the state of loss. That whoever engaging into that kind of, virtuous actions and seeing them, or kind of like whatever you are seeing them, you may can rejoice after them. Regardless who is doing that. Whether your enemy doing, or whether your friend doing, whether your relative doing, whoever, regardless whoever, as long as they are trying to engage there physically, verbally, and mentally into any of those positive actions, and that action becomes the right object for you to enjoy. I celebrate. With the joy, I celebrate. That object becomes for oneself. With the joy, celebrate. He's introducing here now. And this is something normally we do actually. Yes, normally we do that. Even within a family, friends, and somebody who graduate, for example, who graduate high school or university, and every family member's friends are coming together and celebrate their graduation. That's it. We're doing it in our life, day-to-day life. But graduations, yeah, it's a good thing one way. I don't know exactly how it is really, really good or not. But this is an example that we're doing it in our normal day. This is an example. And also that we also doing opposite too. Something like that your force, right? Force, your enemy or you dislike the persons. When they failed from graduation, you also rejoice. You also celebrate. With the joy, you celebrate. Here, this is one. With the joy, I celebrate. But that's the wrong object of celebration. But we do. You see, in the one hand, that rejoice has a very easy way to engage into positive actions. But on the other hand, rejoicing actions also has a very easy way to engage into negative action as well. So that's the thing actually. That's the thing also related with the higher and higher practice too. Higher and higher practice has this potential that it can help us to accumulate the eons of merit within a one action. But also it has a one hand, but also on the other hand, if we misuse those higher methods, and those also can become one action, can also become the accumulate the equals to the person, normal person who takes eons to accumulate that negative actions. That this person can create this evil, that negative within a one action. Just similar like here. Rejoicing. Isn't it funny that we need to be very careful. This every single moment we do this. Sometimes people won't listen you, and then they have some problem. For example, like this, my knees took them. Sometimes I also say, yes, you need that. When he fall down, right? I advising him, don't run, don't do this, don't jump here and there. And he don't listen. He run, jump, and all of a sudden he fell down. Bam. And I said, you don't need that. You deserve that. This is also kind of like I'm rejoicing. I'm celebrating with the joy. Right? Cautiously or uncautiously, this action normally we do. This rejoice action, that how Shantideva indicates here. Normally we do that. So understand this, and then now we need to be careful to not to rejoice which are not object to rejoice. So here Shantideva only introducing these are the object that you make him rejoice. And other than this, we just let it be. Not rejoice, not necessarily that you have to hate. No. There are also, always I'm saying, there are also another options. Just let it be. Letting be doesn't have any problem. And then the second two lines is actually he is introducing the person who is really facing suffering at the moment. And then some persons who is really trying to solve his problem. Whatever you see that somebody is trying to helping to solve another's problem, that also becomes for you your right object to rejoice too. Here, he is within this one stanza, he is introducing two objects. That one, people are not facing suffering at that moment. But still, as long as whoever engaging into any of these virtuous actions with the joy, when it becomes right object for us to with the joy celebrate, rejoice. And then another two lines just introducing the another object, that whoever really facing the suffering or the problem at the moment, and then someone else come and trying to solve his problem. Whenever you see this kind of things in front of you, that is the also right object for you to, with the joy, celebrate. Such as when we are going to the many peoples, that we can see these kind of things, many things. For example, like somebody who is new in a country and who don't know where to go, the person lost in the middle of the town. And then when they ask question and somebody is helping to guide them, when you see that kind of things in front of you, somebody is guiding to that person's, that also becomes, because now that's exactly that person is facing the problem at the moment. And then someone else trying to solve his problem. This is one kind of like a small example, okay? This is one small example. Likewise, any kind of like when we go to the public place, then here in Canada, so we have this kind of many things there. People who work volunteer. These are becomes right object to rejoice, celebrate. Such as like in a traffic light, somebody is waiting with a stop sign, right? To helping to let those school kids cross the road. We have naturally, what I'm saying is that we have naturally in this, within us, within our around, those are the object that we make and rejoice them. By rejoicing them is the one way of accumulating merit oneself. And this is the one Shantideva was introducing, how to make space enough in your house to put that mighty things, right? And these are for general, right? And then second stanza, I revel in the store of virtues, cause of gaining the enlightened state, and celebrate the freedom won by living beings from the round of pain. Actually here, this stanza also introducing another object that we make and rejoice. Now, this is a little bit hidden actually, not really obvious, because it is saying cause of gaining the enlightened state. That cause of gaining the enlightened state from the outlook, the judging that person's actions, whether that action is the cause of gaining the enlightened state or not, it's very challenging to judge. It is really hidden. But more or less, But more or less, in general, kind of like a meditations and this doing this sadhana practice, and then the prostrations and all those kind of like a, especially that particularly that exact spiritual practice, more or less, and those are the kind of like a exactly become the cause. How can I say this? These are the representing the cause of gaining enlightened state, isn't it? But still, it is a little hidden because we don't know really what intention that person had. More or less, these are the actions representing the cause of gaining enlightened state, isn't it? Right? So we can only talk from this kind of part. Just kind of like a, as we talked about before, a person who doesn't have, how to say, idea about enlightenment and Bodhicitta and whoever whatsoever. But naturally, being a human, we have this humanity that helping others and supporting others, it's naturally we consider as a good positive actions. But engaging or doing those actions out of attention of achieve enlightened or not, is two different things. Not necessarily every person who is doing good actions, they have this intention, right? So if they don't have this intention, then that action doesn't become the cause of gaining this enlightened state. And persons who ever have that intention and then doing those positive actions, then any kind of actions that person do, any kind of positive actions that person do, I should say that, any kind of positive actions that person do, yes, then we can say it becomes the cause of gaining the enlightened state. Right? It's clear. But more or less, I told you earlier, those specifically those spiritual paths, such as doing prostrations and doing this soul offering, meditation, practicing sadhanas, more or less, these are the actions represents the action of cause of gaining the enlightened state, right? And this talking about from the outlook. In look, I told you already, right? This is a little hidden now. We can really completely understand from outlook this one. But however, Shantideva's here, I revealed in the store of virtue, cause of gaining the enlightened states. That's also the object of rejoice. Such as, let's say, somebody is meditating. This is the one that Shantideva was saying, you make him rejoice. Somebody meditating. And you make him rejoice. Somebody's practicing. And somebody's doing prostrations and offerings. And practicing sadhanas, like practicing generation stage and completion stage. And then the second line, it is refers to that the being who are kind of like liberated themselves from this cyclic existence, or from this suffering, whoever liberated themselves, or somebody who liberated others. Whenever you saw this kind of things in front of you, and that is also the right object for you to celebrate with the joy. And celebrate the freedom won by living beings from the round of pain. This is what it means. And then now this third stanza that Shantideva is showing, and in the Buddhahood of protectors I delight, and in the ground of realization of the Buddhas here, Buddhas of the here, I rejoice. That whoever, how to say, now these things that still we can use those objects like a Shakyamuni Buddha as an example, and those eight great bodhisattvas are the examples. You can put them in front of you to rejoice their achievement, their accomplish, what they accomplished so far, what they achieved so far. You can rejoice after their achievement, their accomplishment. And whoever reached to those booming state, those are also the right object for us to enjoy. This enjoy we can do whenever we want, actually, isn't it? And because of those Buddha's realizations is very kind of like a remain there forever, which means this object is always within us. If we want, we can engage into this kind of actions anytime. Just remember those Buddhas and Bodhisattvas and rejoice in their accomplishment, their achievement. This is our hero. And then this fourth stanza, their enlightened attitude, an ocean of great good, that seeks to place all being in the state of bliss. Now that it is kind of like a Shantideva is introducing that persons who generate this aspiration bodhicitta, and towards those persons who is doing that kind of actions, and those are also right object for you to enjoy. Now, this is also a little bit hidden now. It is not easy to understand whether someone really doing this or not. But more or less, for example, every Sunday we do Guru Yoga morning. And in the Guru Yoga, that we try to generate this aspiration bodhicitta and application bodhicitta both. So As I always say, rejoice. You don't necessarily to look so far. Rejoice. Don't forget right beside you who are doing same, who are trying to do same thing as what you are trying to do right now. And these are also right object to rejoice. Always never forget your friend beside you. Start to rejoice from there. So, however, this fourth stanza, it is showing that persons who is engaging into aspiration bodhicitta, those you are right object to rejoice. And also the persons who are really engaging into application bodhicitta, and those are also right object for us to enjoy, rejoice. So more or less, Shantideva, within this four stanza, he's instructing kind of like a 1, 2, and 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different objects that he introduced us. And any of those 7 actions, whoever engaging, whoever doing it, regardless of your foes or your enemies or your disliked persons or not, whatsoever, regardless, whoever engaging into any of these 7 actions, and those are right object for you to enjoy. Here it's saying, the stanza number 4, they are enlightened attitude, an ocean of great good that seeks to place all being in the state of bliss. Just seeking, right? Seeking actually, not really doing. You just kind of like, it is just aspiring, right? Aspirations. You're just seeking, willing. And then second 2 lines is showing, and every action for the benefit of beings, such is my delight and enjoy. Every action that now this is talking about the application for persons who not just seeking, but also in order to achieve that what the person seeking, and in order to achieve that, persons who are putting themselves into action to achieve that. This is more or less like a kind of like a application for the Siddha. So here within this 4th stanza, introducing that now with that 4 stanza, Shantideva complete instructing us to how to understand the right object for oneself to rejoice or not. Now here Shantideva introduce us these 7 actions. Here I introduce the 7 different actions, 7 different objects. Those are the unmistaken for you to rejoice. So you can rejoice after any of these 7 different objects. By rejoicing after these 7 different objects, then what I can get benefit? Then hear this. This is the one easiest method to accumulate merit actually. Rather than your mental, you don't need to do any physical and verbal actually. And now Shantideva introducing, giving this. There are this kind of options also you have in order to engage yourself into positive actions, accumulate merit, which help us to make space enough to put that mighty things in the house. And then now this stanza number 5. Then he is giving another option. Again, also there are another different actions that by engaging oneself into this kind of actions, also we can accumulate the merit, which means help us to make space enough. So here this stanza number 5, it is introducing the action of requesting the turn the wheel of Dharma, how one can do this. And so I join my hands and pray the Buddhas who reside in every quarter. What is that? Kindle? Kindle or Kindle?
Kindle.
Kindle. There's a Kindle?
Kindle.
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 What does it mean, Kindle?
So if you light a fire,
Uh-huh. Oh. So the Kindle light?
you kindle it.
Kindle it. Recite every quarter, is it? Every quarter? What is quarter? Half. Oh, one or four. Does it really mean? I didn't get it. Chona kunji sanjela thamunjade slovani. Chona kunji. The Buddhas who reside in every quarter. Every quarter. Okay, so every direction, I think. This is talking about, right?
Yeah.
Every direction. Okay. The Buddhas who reside in every quarter, every direction. Kindle now the Dharma's light. Yeah. For those who crop, what is this? Bewildered?
No, they don't know where to go.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Bewildered. Is it? Bewildered?
Wider.
Widered.
Bewildered.
Bewildered.
Confused.
Confused. Bewildered. Bewildered. In the dark of pain. So now here Shantideva is introducing, in order to engage oneself into the requesting the turn the wheel of Dharma. And such a requesting the turn the wheel of Dharma in this way, with the understanding its really purpose. Right? Turning the wheel of Dharma can help us to remove those bewildered and in the dark of pain. With the understanding this potential has in Dharma, and then requesting to request to turn the wheel of Dharma. Not just requesting to turn the wheel of Dharma because of I want to gain fame. So people call me, oh, he is a Dharma organizer. Not just for that. Don't request any master to turn the wheel of Dharma. So everybody call you as a Dharma organizer. Not just for that. So you can gain some name by it. No. You should understand the potential of Dharmas, which can help us to remove those bewilders and in the dark of pain. This is the really potential of Dharma. with the understanding those potentials of Dharma, and then requesting teacher or whoever to return the will of Dharma. So normally, in short, we're saying, right, request to turn the will of Dharma in short. Now, we need to understand here this clear how Shantideva instruct in order to engage oneself into that action, and this way to engage into that actions. Not just because of gaining some name, fame, or just to fulfill your friend. Oh, my friend is Dharma organizer, so he asks me to help, so therefore I'm just helping him to support him to request to turn the will of Dharma, to invite teachers to here to turn the will of Dharma. Right? And here, some of you doing this job. Now I'm telling you all that since you're all helping me, right, to organize these things. And I myself has to also be cautious to not have this kind of intention. And yourself also, it is important to not have this kind of intention. Oh, if I don't do this, Tulku won't satisfy it. Don't just put that intention. Tulku satisfied or not, it's not that big problem. If I won't help, then maybe Dharma will not gonna continue. If Dharma activities will not gonna continue, then we lost the source or the things that which can help us to remove this one bewildered in the dark of pain. Therefore, support and request turn the will of Dharma, understanding that. And that really becomes now request to turn the will of Dharma, action, 100%. But we might can mix both together too. We can mix both intentions. I'm supporting this to Truku, or I'm doing this for Truku because it also helps you continue run the Dharma activity and also satisfy Truku too. You may can have this kind of things. You may can have that kind of intention. So it's not a really big problem because still that right intention is there. But this just trying to satisfy the person is not really necessary for you to support actually, right? Maybe sometimes that person's may becomes for you too important to fulfill his wishes, because it depends on how you perceive that person as important or not, right? You may can mix these two together, but nevertheless, don't remove this part. Make sure this part is always there. Even though you're doing this for satisfying that particularly persons who you like, but still at the same way, also make it space in your mind to put this intention as well, that I'm supporting him or her, so this Dharma activity can remain long, continuous. Why? Because it has this source which can help us to remove this bewildered in the dark of pain. That's the main potential of Dharma. This is what it is important. It is important to remain Dharma forever. So more or less, make sure that even you put person's satisfaction, but at the same time also you may not forget to add this intention. The fact you don't need that worry person's satisfactions. You just need that intention and do it, support it, request it, engage it into this requesting the term of your By doing so, satisfaction to that person's, it's automatically gained there because that person is trying to achieve that, do that. You don't need to worry about that person's satisfaction. You don't need that intention. Just fulfilled. It is kind of like a bonus. It will come with it when you do it. It's 100% with that intention. Understanding the potential of Dharma and with that purpose, and in order to remain and continue this Dharma activity. And then, therefore, I'm doing this all. And then, therefore, I'm requesting to that person to turn the wheel of Dharma. So this is also very important. Okay, as I told you already, right? We may mix very much. We do this mix. Request to turn the wheel of Dharma is sometimes we may request to turn the wheel of Dharma to our teacher. So if I don't request it, then maybe my teacher think that, oh, he is not kind of like he or she is not thinking that he or she is his disciple or she's disciple out of that intention. And also you may do this, you may engage into this kind of actions. So if I don't do it, may somebody will do it. So therefore I should do it very fast at the beginning. You see, you need to, engaging into request to turn the wheel of Dharma actions, kind of like as I told you earlier, you may mix that kind of intentions, that if I don't do it, may somebody will do it. But still try to have that intentions together with that intention. Now, let's say if you are not being able to remove that intention, and together with that intention, you may at least make sure that you have these intentions. Plus addition, because the Dharma is the cause of removing the bewildered in the dark of pain. Therefore, I'm requesting to turn the wheel of Dharma to teacher, also that purpose too. First purpose is, if I don't do it, somebody will do it. And second purpose, you may add this, because this has this potential. Now mix with the mundane and spiritual together. But more or less, isn't it? Now, when you check yourself, we mix these two very often if we don't care. Sometimes we just go to the teacher, whoever our teacher, and then ask him, or give me some teaching. Why are you requesting that? Maybe sometimes you're requesting, so make sure I have before they have. I have this teaching before they have. Therefore, I am going to request him to turn the wheel of Dharma to me. You see? This kind of like a, how can I say this? This kind of like a disadvantage, or how can I say like this? Not really. Your action looks right, but the intention is not quite right. Mix right intention with the wrong intention. No. Mix right action with the wrong intention. Right? It is right action which you are doing, requires the turn the wheel of Dharma through verbal and presenting yourself there, front of Lama, and verbally saying that to Lama that please turn the wheel of Dharma and please come visit us and give some teachings, empowerment, whatsoever. But intention is so I can have it, those teaching before my friend have it. That kind of intention, maybe that kind of intention. Maybe, as I told you earlier, maybe that you're doing this behind intention is so people will call me Dharma organizer. Or I can gain some name in my community, my group. Right? I am the first person who requests this teaching. Therefore, teacher taught this teaching. Just to have that kind of sense, right? So, the action is right, but the intention is not really quite right. But the intention that we may mix both. I have that intention so it can benefit, but also I have this intention, so make sure that I have it before them. That kind of true intention can mix too. And then two intention mixing is absolutely better than just having this intention. Absolutely, it's better than just having that kind of like a not really right intention. But still, there are also to go increase or improve our intention, to just remove this and just leave this intention there. By understanding these potentials, that how Shandideva instruct here, that you can engage into request to turn the wheel of Dharma action, but in this way, right? It's instructing clear here. But in this way, understanding the kindle now the Dharma light for those who grope bewildered in the dark of pain. Right? Does that make sense? Huh? Does that make sense? So here Shandideva is introducing us. Normally, if we don't go little kind of like a thoroughly, then we may think we're just verbally and asking as a request. The fact that's not 100%. That's not necessary yet. Behind that you are requesting it is also important to have this understanding that while you are requesting the term the will of Dharma. And then, okay, so now with that kind of understanding and then engaging oneself into the action of requesting term the will of Dharma, you also can accumulate a lot of merit by doing so. That's the another option that Shantideva provided us. That sometimes we do this, right? So we need to do this with the right intentions, right motivation, right way. Actually, in short, I can say, try to do it with the right way. Best way is just having that intention only. And if you are not, you can mix, but make sure this intention is there. And regardless whatever other intentions you may put in here, but make sure this intention is there. The best is remove all the other intention, just leave it this intention there to engaging into this action. The request to turn the will of Dharma. And then now this sixth stanza, requesting to those great masters or the teachers to not enter into parinirvana. And invocating them, that invocating action itself is the way of accumulating great amount of merit. This is what Shantideva introducing here. And in order to do that, how one need to do, then I join my hands beseeching. Is it? Beseeching. What is beseeching?
Like you beg.
Begging?
Yeah, like you're portraying.
Okay.
Faithful.
I join my hands beseeching the enlightened ones who wish to pass into nirvana. Do not leave us wandering in blindness. Stay among us for unnumbered ages. Come again and again, never go into parinirvana. So the many great masters already enter into parinirvana. Now they are not coming back, right? It's good for them, absolutely. But the one big loss is for us. Because they are representing the Dharma. They are the kind of sources of Dharma. That all the Dharmas that we can understand correctly if they are with us. They understood themselves already, so they don't have any problem. But if they don't remain with us, and who will not get problem? It's us. So this is not so difficult to understand, right? It's easy to understand. Requesting the term the will of Dharma is a little tricky, right? Then, okay, so then Shantideva is introducing, in this way, if you do so, if you engage into this requesting to not enter into parinirvana, remain with us in this way, and by doing so, you also can accumulate merit. So now here, giving a lot of different options. You can accumulate merit engaging into this kind of action, that kind of action, those kind of actions. And also now here, this final And from this stanza number 7 to stanza number 10, 4 stanza. And then now he is introducing through engaging oneself into dedication actions. And we also can accumulate a lot of merit too. Options, many options. Then how one can dedicate, how one can accumulate merit through engaging into dedication actions is this way. Through these actions means it refers to now these, where it refers this. So far we've gone through all the above. That requesting to not enter into parinirvana actions, and requesting to turn the wheel of dharma actions, and rejoicing actions, compassion actions, and refuge actions, prostration actions, and offering actions. These refers to all this. So through these actions, now performed, and all the virtues I have gained in kind of like a in the past, whatever I gained. May all the pain of every living beings be wholly scattered and destroyed. In general, now this stanza, in general, you can dedicate your merit for that purpose. When you dedicate your merit in this way, and that itself helps you to accumulate a lot of merit, which means that action help you to make it space enough to put that mighty things. The main purpose, Shantideva, all this instruction he is teaching, so you can generate bodhicitta and you can have this bodhisattva's power. That's the main purpose of all these teachings. And then for the temporarily, particularly, this is stanza number 8, for all those ailing in the world, ailing in the world, until their every sickness has been healed, may I myself become for them the doctor, nurse, the medicine itself, even medicine itself. May you become medicine. And those we do have histories about sometimes people need it for their specific disease. Some animals' flesh. Do you know that sometimes we require that for our disease? It is happening, right? Still today. It has happened in the past. Still, it is still happening today too. And then sometimes that those, it's saying, right? Kind of like those turtles' flesh are very good for medicine, isn't it? And then like that, some animals, their flesh is considered as a medicine for some specific diseases. Right? Here now Shantideva say, it may because of your aspiration. Yes, there are histories actually. It begins that there's history that one king, and then in that region everybody get kind of like a strange disease which there's no cure for any medicine, cured by any medicine. And in order to cure that disease, they need one specific fish flash. And then the king made that aspirations and he kind of like a diet by himself. And then he born in that fish specifically. And then all that region people eat that flesh of the fish and they got cured. That kind of history happened in the past. Still today may be happening, but more or less sometimes it's hard to understand, recognize. So you can dedicate your marriage for that purpose too. See? Where there's some strange disease, where there's no cure for that disease, may I become a specific medicine for that disease. And also raining down a flood of food and drink. May I dispel the ills of thirst and famine. And in the eons marked by scarcity and want, may I myself appear as a drink and sustenance. Those bodhisattvas make their aspirations in this way too. And here Shantideva, how he made it this kind of dedication. And here he is also introducing us, the persons who wants to accumulate merit. You can accumulate merit by dedicating your merit in this way too. And then the last stanza, for sentient beings, poor and destitute, may I become a treasure ever plentiful and lay before them closely in their reach. And what is that? Everit? Huh? Look. Stanza number 10. You're not looking in the book? A varied source of all that they might need. So, these are not so difficult to understand. So now Shantideva is introducing us through engaging oneself into these kind of dedication actions. We can also accumulate a lot of merit to make it a space to have that mighty things. Okay, so maybe we stop here, completing this 7 branches. Normally we call this 7 branches of offering. Shantideva here introducing all of this, how can it done. Okay, so if you have question, we can discuss. If not, then we go lunch.
Yeah. The last time I believe you say we have 10 different between Mahajana and Theravada. But you don't think we love that idea. 10 point different between Mahajana and Theravada.
10 point?
Yeah.
Did I say that?
Yeah.
Yeah?
But we don't have a chance to develop that idea.
10 point which makes different between Theravadan and Mahayanas. No.
Yeah, you see specific point. 10 points. Really? 10 points.
Did I say that 10?
Yeah.
There are 7 points, not 10. Did I say that 10 1? Oh, then my mistake then. There are 7. There are 7 points.
Let's check 7.
Yeah, there are 7 points which makes the difference between Theravadan path and Mahayana path. So Mahayana, Maha means the big or the great. And why it is called Maha or great? Because there are, in Mahayana path, there is a 7 great big things which doesn't have in the Theravadan path. Therefore, okay, all the other methods, whatever Theravadan has, it all has in Mahayana path. And plus, there are 7 big things which they don't have. Therefore, it is Maha. It is Maha compared with the Thera. That's why it's called Maha. And then those 7 point or things are kind of like an intention. The intention, greatness of intention. That which not include in the Theravadan path. In short, Bodhicitta. Yeah, Bodhicitta. Awakened mind, which they don't. Which doesn't include in the Theravadan method, Theravadan path. In short, these great scholars different by this, only this one point. And if we go detail, then there are 7 points. Therefore, I'm saying Tekshen Tegmen Simkeke. Difference between Mahayana and Theravada is because whether they have a Bodhicitta or not. That's it, in short. That's the 1 point.
That's a 1 point, but that's a big point.
Yeah.
Very big, and many things people can think that's what.
Yeah.
Very big.
Yeah.
1 point, but
Then yes, then Bodhicitta, out of that Bodhicitta, then all comes these 7 points. Such as like, I don't remember all of those 7 points, but I remember some of those points, such as like a timing, the time that you want to spend for the others. It's also great, Maha, compared with Theravada. It's called Drupa Chenpo, Mikpa Chenpo, Drupa Chenpo. Chenpo means Maha, okay, Chenpo. Mikpa Chenpo, Drupa Chenpo, Tabla Khepa Chenpo. Great method. They have a great method. They have a great accomplishment. They have a great intention. And also one is Zöndu Chenpo, I think. Diligent, great diligence. Not that great diligence. Right? They don't want to stay in samsara. They don't have that diligence. They want to run away as soon as they can.
Oh, you mean that way? That's way.
That's,
Okay.
I think so, but I'm not quite sure with this diligent, I think. But that's for sure. Among the 7,
Method, intention, diligence, and
4. We get 4.
yeah, 4 so far. Method, intention.
No, now I don't remember. Mainly Bodhicitta, and then if you go detail, 7 point, not 10 point. Okay.
I haven't had this.
Did I say before?
Yeah.
10 point.
Yeah, you said 10.
I said she. Did I say that?
Last week.
Last week. Did I say that, Anna? I said
No
that.
idea.
No idea.
I wasn't here.
You were here.
I wasn't here.
Yeah, she wasn't here.
Huh?
Last Saturday.
She was here last Saturday.
She's out. She's busy.
Romantic. It was
Oh.
mentally present.
10. Oh.
But I
Related with this teaching, I said.
yeah. Well, I actually got the book, Linda's book, but I haven't read it yet. The book is saying they're gonna say the difference between 3 jhana, right? I just got the book, but I want to see. I want you to confirm what the difference. I want to see what the difference between Bodhicharyavatara in the way Tibetan Buddhism they think
Vajrayana.
from Bodhicharyavatara point of view of the other. That book from Jonah.
Oh. Anyway. So we go.
Yeah.
Now we dedicate. Sunam de damje sigwane, kubne be dalam damje, chega nanche walam tubaye, sibe sole, doan rova show, jambang bave, jidara kimbana, kundu zambo, dehan deshinde, dada kunje, jesu nalvanje, gewan dila damje rabdomo, gewan de shio, sunam yeshe solzone, sunam yeshe lechonge, amba kunye, kobra show, sanje kusum yebe china, Chunyi menjur dembe shimanga, gendin michi dembe shimanga, judara moa Rubarasho, written in English. By this beneficial activity, may I obtain omniscience, and having vanquished the harmful enemies, greed, anger, illusion, may I liberate all being tossed about helplessly by the waves of birth, aging, illness, and death in the ocean of becoming. By conforming to the knowledge of courageous Manjushri, Jambalyam, and in the same way as Samandabhadra, Kundusambo, and following their example, I dedicate perfectly all this virtue. By this virtue, may all being perfectly achieve the accumulation of merit, sunam, and wisdom, yeshe, and may they thereafter obtain the two holy bodies which result from these two accumulations. By the blessing of the Buddha Sangha, who obtained the 3 bodies, by the blessing of the immutable truth of the Dharmata, Sheni, by the blessing of the infallible aspiration of the Sangha, Gendin, may this prayer of dedications be accomplished just as it is. Thank you.